So welcome back to the Builder's Mindset on Ray Power 102.5. I am Priye Derefaka Okara, and today I'm looking at Bayelsa State, how the state can be developed. You know, how we can move beyond the point where we are and go higher in order to come together and see how we can be able to grow the economic and also establish this land. I looked at a country called Swaziland, okay. I realized that their currency is one of the strongest currency in Africa. And they are just a population of over 1 million people, precisely 1,119 persons are living in this particular country. This country is in one of the African continent and all of that. But if you go to this country, do you know how developed they are? They are well developed. You see all of the buildings, skyscraper building, amazing structure, you know, and this country, they literally live out of agriculture. They don't have as much as we have here just in Bayelsa State. And the population of Bayelsa State is larger than the Swaziland population. They are 1 million plus over. We are about 2 million people is in Bayelsa State. I know the last census was done in 2016, and as of 2016, they said Bayelsa State is a population of 1,700,000 and some figures on top of it. But I believe that presently we should be like 2 million people, or about 2 million persons in Bayelsa, which is larger than the population in Swaziland. But these people are working and developing their land with just agriculture. They had just 2 states created in that's just 2 states. You know, you have just like a city and all of that, but here we have 8 local governments. If you go around, if you see their waterfall and everything, they are using what they have to succeed. They were once a slave like we all are before, but how can we grow this land? How can Bayelsa State grow beyond the point where it is right now? Is that let's stop neglecting what we have. Let's start adding value to what we have, and that value is in the agriculture sector. That value is in that community that when you plant your little cucumber, it grows overnight. In less than 3 months, it has given you a lot of cucumber you can sell, that you don't have to go to another land and then import it or export it, whatever it is. I remember a certain man came to my office. He came for counseling. He said he has about 3 acres of land. Okay, I can't remember the community he mentioned now, but about 3 acres of land. And then he decided to test by planting watermelon. He said in 3 months he realized that the watermelon that grew from that land here in Bayelsa State, it was so large, so big, as in bigger than the ones that the Northerners bring into this town, and it's so expensive. Okay, and when he tasted it, it's so nice, so sweet. So he made up his mind, went for a little training, and got a lot of the watermelon seed, and then he started planting. He said at that point, he said the number he planted, he realized that if he harvests it, he's going to be making about 3 million naira. I was like, wow, this is fantastic. This is amazing. That agriculture that you have, that piece of land that you have, that you do not see any value in it, or you don't see anything important in it, is valuable and is important. All you have to do is to sit down and begin to look at, what can I plant? What can this land give to me? Let's stop waiting for the government to do everything for us. Let's stop depending on people to do stuff for us. Let's start rising up and grow and develop this land, this amazing land. You know, do you know we can have our own factories here? You can have a palm oil factory. You don't need to wait for the one that Bayelsa State has, the Bayelsa palm. Where you are, you can grow your own land and have all the palm fruit and all of that. And then the next thing, you're having a factory of your own palm oil where you also export it and send it out. In our organization, in the Builders Mindset Club, we have a club called the Women in Export. you can actually export palm oil. You can export the gari. You can export the charcoal. You can export the egusi. You can export the ogbono. There are seasons for ogbono that when you buy it, it's so cheap and it's so large. So you can start at that period. You can start bagging them. Bag them, buy them in large quantity, begin to bag them, and then you can start making good money from it. But when you look down on what you have, then you realize that poverty will be by your side. There's a place in the Bible that says when you sit down and fold your hands and not do anything, it says poverty will meet you and arrest you like an armed robber. So what the Lord also expects you to do is to also build yourself up. Look at your territory, look at your environment, look at things around you that you can actually create and actually make something useful out of it. In every circumstance, in every problem, there is a solution to it. And you know what? Jack Ma said something. Jack Ma said, inside the problem that you have, he said the solution is inside the problem. So he says, go around and look at problems that people have and then solve the problem. How can you solve the problem? First of all, check yourself. What is the problem that you have? That same problem that you have, look for the solution in it and then solve the solution for yourself. And when you are able to solve it, then you can be able to reach out to others. You have what it takes to survive. You have what it takes. It doesn't matter how little it is where you start from. As little as those, fowls, they move around you. Those days, you have people in a community. Those days, you just see people have their fowl. They just use this red cloth and then they tie it. And then the chicken, they move everywhere. The fowl, they are safe. Nobody is capturing them. And people are actually selling them and making money. We can still do the same thing. Today is called poultry. You can have your own poultry farm and you are succeeding. Today is so easy and now it's so difficult where you can see people, the fishermen go back to the river where they're catching the normal natural fish. Everybody wants to have fish pond. I'm not saying that it's wrong to have fish pond, but where are the fishermen? Where are our youths? What is wrong if you're a youth that you go to the river and catch fish? Do you know that the fish that you catch from the river is sweeter than the one that you built at your backyard called pond? Do you know how amazing it is those days when they go and catch this river? Those days I know that it's more like a barter. If you have a fish, you give it and then you take gari. What is happening to our society? What is happening to the economy? The economic is what it is today because we have left our first estate. We have left what we have. We're looking at other countries with what they have. And yet we are taking back our own and neglecting the amazing, amazing money that flows in this land. Bayelsa State is called the glory of all land and the land that flows with milk and honey. Not in vain. That name did not just come. That name came from God. That name was originated by the Father, by the Creator of heaven and earth. How did I know that? In 2003, before I even got married to my husband, the Lord told me, I am sending you to a land that flows with milk and honey. And all this while, I thought that land was actually the United States of America because I felt the milk and honey was there. But until I got married to my husband in 2004 and he brought me to Bayelsa State, then the Lord told me, this is the land that I told you that flows with milk and honey that I'm sending you to. There is milk and honey. And do you know where the milk and honey is that the Lord said? He says it's inside of you. The milk and honey in Bayelsa State dwells in you. He's hidden, he's dormant. You have to rise up and begin to bring it forth to reality and bring it forth to a land so that this land indeed will stand out and we will be the glory of all land. And I know it. I know it. I know that the glory will reflect. I know because when you rise up, you make up your mind and rise up and take your place. That glory will reflect for the entire nations of the earth to see. The glory will not just be shining in Nigeria, but all over the continent, people will begin to see the glory in Bayelsa State. Let's rise up together with the government, and I'm also pleading on the government to please put the right people in position. Stop playing politics with appointments in different sectors. Appoint those who have the pedigree, appoint those who have the expertise, appoint those who have the skill, appoint those who have the wherewithal to grow that particular position that you want to place them in. People who will bring value, people who will make the difference, people who will impact when you place them in that position as commissioners, as honorables, whatever it is. Please let us develop this land called Bayelsa State and bring about change upon the surface of the earth. I'm saying thank you. If you have just tuned into this program, God bless you. Now, I have one good news for you. At our cinema is built in such a way that we have a padded studio in it where we want to help you as a person to make more money with the social media. It's enough for people to use their phone and then do all of the stuff and social fun and not making money. We have created a device that if you come here, we will give you the platform where you can make money on the social media. We will show you how to do it. It's just a token or fee that you will pay. A token, you will go live on the social media. We will show you different areas and different articles that you can come up with on the social media and make lots of money from it. I am Priye Derefaka Okara, and this is the Builder's Mindset. I will be back here on Sunday again by 8:15 a.m. God bless you and bye for now.